If we really understand the stories we have to tell, if we really take the time to understand who will care, if we really understand how to tell our stories on purpose, the stories we tell can change the world. Stories aren't new. We as humans have been connected to stories since we were young. They've long been used to persuade and drive people to action too. It was Aristotle back in 330 BC who first used story and taught and wrote about the power of story to persuade, the power of narrative to persuade. He brought us the 3-act structure, the beginning, middle and end, that's still used today. He also brought us ethos, pathos and logos that is still used to formulate some of the best talks and communication pieces and stories today. Not long after that, in 1940s, came a chap called Joseph Campbell who wrote The Hero's Journey. Hero's Journey is the story foundation, the framework foundation for many of our favourite movies. If you've not heard of The Hero's Journey, just Google it and prepare to have Hunger Games, Star Wars, Shawshank Redemption all ruined to a degree. But more recently, and one of my favourites is Nancy Duarte and her Silicon Valley agency to help people present better. And she's been looking at the shape of a story and great presentations. Some of the stories we have to tell the most today are presentations and pitches. So I'd suggest you check her out as well. But more recently, stories have been used commercially and strategically for business. Stories help us align leadership teams around a mission or a vision. They help us align employees to our brand. They help us understand strategy and see where it's going. They help us launch innovation projects or products or services. They help us communicate change, which is something that's been important in 2020. It's also a great vehicle for attracting the right employees to an organisation and, of course, the right customers. All this can be framed as story and narrative and commercial storytelling. We use stories to connect. Stories connect us to ideas. Stories connect us to brands. Stories connect us to purpose. Stories connect us to experiences. Stories connect us to each other, which is most important. And 2020 has been a time when we've needed connection more than ever. So we need story today more than ever. So let's look and explore how you can tell your story so we can change the world. It starts again with that Aristotle bloke and the 3-act structure, beginning, middle and end. A great story of an individual, you need to understand the origin story. Any superhero fans out there will know. But the origin story, where your idea came from. Why should we care? It answers the question, what was? We need a background, right? We can't just take it on face value. People have more affinity with an idea if they know where it's come from, its history, its meaning. But next you need something that will resonate. We need the middle of that story. We need to answer the question, what is? We need to be empathetic. We need to show we understand our audience and the challenges that they face. We need to answer what is. We've got this great idea. This is where it came from. This is why you should care about it. But we understand you're facing this challenge. You're going through this change. You've got this need. We understand because we understand you, our audience. What comes after that? You have to inspire action. You have to answer, what could be? You have to paint a picture that inspires the audience to take action, to ask, oh right, what's next? So we know where the stories come from. We know what the idea is, why it's important, why we should care. We know that we understand our audience and the challenges they face, but now bring it together. What could your audience's world be like with your idea, with your product, with all your service adopted? Paint a picture of what could be the future. Get people to want to be there. Tell a brand story that gives the audience something to believe in, not just to buy from. Connection and action matter. So go forth and tell your story. The time is now. You've got permission. You've got the tools. It's story time. Thank you. I'm Tim Elliott.